So we had seen the information of the EC2. Now let's create some machines. So we have this structure ready with us. We have a VPC, we have a public subnet, we have a private subnet, we have three security groups, an internet gateway, and a route table. So let's create some machines over there. So we are going to create a web server, a jump server, and a database server. Three machines into our infrastructure. So let's move. So in to the AWS, the AWS Amazon.com, go to the services, and in the compute, the first that you will get is the EC2. So just click on the EC2, right? Click instances, and you'll get to see that we don't have instance with us, right? So we don't have any instance. So let's launch it, and make sure that you are in the same region where there is your VPC. Again, it's a region-based service, so you must be in the same region, right? So I'm in the same Northern Virginia region. So let's launch instance. So first, AMIs. That's for a quick start. If you're going to my AMIs, it will show you your configured AMI, but we don't have any configured AMI with us in Marketplace, where you can search for the licenses, and you will get multiple licenses over here. Then community AMIs, where you will get all type of community, by the Red Hat, by the CentOS, by the WordPress, and many more, right? So going to the quick start, and let's select this one. That's the Amazon Linux Wizard or Amazon configured Linux machine. So I'm going to same and select that. The hardware. This is our hard, like a micro, where we have 1 core CPU, 1 GB of RAM, and a network performance which is low to moderate. If you are going down, it will show you the increase in hardware. Like there is a 8 GB of hardware, 30 GB of course, 8 core of CPU, 30 GB of RAM, and it is again moderate. If I go down, then it will shift to the 5 GB of back. If you go down, then will show you a 10 GB, then 20 GB. So as you're going down, it will increase your hardware. So as per your need, you can select any one of it. But for the testing, just for the learning purpose, just use a free tier eligible eligible hardware. So for free tier eligible, we have Tutor Micro with a 1 core of CPU and 1 GB of RAM. So let's select it and go to next. So it's a configuration where you have a number of machine, only one instance. Then a VPC is my project RAID. First, let's create the public RAID, right? Auto assign public IP address. Do we need a public IP address? Yes, we will need a public IP address for this machine. So it is enabled. So this will be my web server. Public IP address for my web server. A placement group, I don't have any. A capacity reservation, I did capacity. IAM role. So we didn't see the IAM role yet. We will see it later. Shutdown behavior. Whenever you stop your machine, it will be stopped or it will be terminated. Terminate means it will be deleted. So I just want to stop. I don't want to terminate our machine whenever I shut down it. Hibernate option, just like a Windows, it will also provide you a hibernate option. Then a termination protection, right? It will protect you from the accidental deletion or accidental termination. So if you want the protection from the accidental termination, you can select it. The monitoring part. The CloudWatch monitors the HC2 machines after every 5 minutes. And if you want to decrease the timing to the 1 minute, you can just pay extra money and you can select this for detailed monitoring. But for now, we are not going to do that. A tenancy is a shared. So we don't have a dedicated host with us. So that's a shared. And elastic inference that will be used for adding some GPUs to your machine. That's a graphical processing units. So you can add how much graphical processing unit, a 4 GB of a graphical processing unit, 1 GB, 3 GB. You can use the elastic inference. Then T3 unlimited that is used to overclock your CPU. If you want to overclock your CPU to do some high performance computing, you can use that. But if you are clicking on this, it will charge you some extra money. Then the file system, basically it's asking for the NFS file system. That's the EFS file system. So that we'll see it later. Down my network interface. So this will be my network interface, that is ETS0, and primary IP address, that is my private IP address. So If you want to specify some private IP address, you can specify over here. And if you don't want to do that, you can just get it from the DHCP server. Then we have the user data. User data, basically it is a post installation script. After creating your machine, which script you want to use for installing some of the softwares, for doing some configuration, for operating your system, you can put a script over here. So once your machine is ready, it will execute that script and it will do a predefined configuration. So for me, we are going to add a script over there. So I'll show you the script. This is a script that you're going to add. First, we will update our packages. Then we will install the HTTPD. Then we will go to this folder where you can host the website. And it will be written in the website like welcome to my first web server. It will be written in the particular website in the page of index.html. Then it will start the service and it will enable the service. So just copy this thing. This is my simple bash script. And just minimize it and paste it over here. So once your machine is ready, then this script will be executed on the machine and all tasks will be done. So going to next to add a storage. That is basically EBS storage. And for my root, that is my slash, I'm getting a 8 GB. That's okay for me. Then tag. So first add a name tag to your machine. So just click over here to add a name tag. So name tag will be a web server, right? Add other name tag. So I can add other name like my OS is my Linux, right? And then the project is my project red. So you can add a multiple name tags like this, like who will going to manage it, like managed by Linux team, right? So for the identification of the instance, you can add a name tag over there. Going to next, configure a security group. It is a firewall, so we already have it. So select existing and select your firewall. That's my red WebSG. And you will get to see the rules that we had selected. This is done. Review and launch. And once it's done, just launch your instance. Right. For connecting to your machine, you will need a credentials. That's your username and your password for your machine. So the username is easy to happen user for the Linux machines, and you will not get end up a password. Instead of the password, you will key. That is the SSH key. So just click on create a new key pair and just provide the key name like Project Red. It's my key. Download the key. Once it's downloaded, just go on launch instance. I will show you later how we can use the key to connect to the machine. And then click on view instances again. And now my one instance is in pending. Right? Let's launch a new instance. That's my web server. Now let's create a DB server. So for the DB server, I'm going to use a same Linux machine. So select a same hardware, let's return micro. Next, over here, just a simple change will be, it will be in private RAID. It is not in public RAID. And you don't need any type of public IP address. So it will be disabled. Where we don't need any public IP, just need a private IP address. Going down, right? Don't need a user data as well. So just keeping all the stuff over here and going next. Again, a storage. 8 GB of storage is fine for us. And next, tags. So tags gonna add is my DB server, right? Other tag gonna add like managed by Linux team, right? The OS is that you're using as a Linux. Done. Configure security groups and existing security group. So we already have it. That is my DBSG, and that is my rules for the DBSG. Going next, a review, take a review and launch it. So we already have a key with us. So you can select the same key. So project red and just use the I acknowledge and view the launch the instance. Scroll down and view instance again. So this is my machine. So I have two machines with me. So let's launch a new machine. So launch instance. For the jump server, we are going to use a Windows machine. So just scroll down a little bit. You will get a Windows machine. That is a Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base. Select it. Clean to the micro. Okay. Again, it will be in public. So project red and public, and you will need a public IP address to connect. So enabled. Add a storage. So by default, Windows will take a 30 GB of storage. It will not take less than that. So 30 GB is okay. Tags. Tag. Let's say my jump server. Add a name tag. So once the name is added, then we can also tag like OS. So this Windows and managed by Windows team. Done. We already have a security group. So let's select, scroll down, jump SG, review and launch. And I got a warning that my RDP is open to the world. That's okay for me. Let's launch it. Again, a Steam cape. That's a project red and launch. Scroll down and view instances. So my three instances are ready. One is my web server, one is the DB server, one is the jump server. So jump server is still in pending mode. So just wait for some minute. It will be live. So my all machines are initialized. I can see jump server, DB server, web server, all are initialized and all are running mode. So let's connect them. Before connecting, just click on the web server, copy the public IP address and paste to the new tab. You should get a website like this. Welcome to my first web server. Because we added a user data script for the machine, so you will get a website like this. That means the script executed successfully, your network is working fine for public subnet, and you are connecting to your web server. That's working. Now, let's try to take a remote access of our machine. So for DB server, for the web server, it is not possible to take a remote access directly from my machine. So I will need a jump server first. For connecting the jump server, click on connect, right? That's a Windows machine. So we will need a password. So my public IP, my username is administrator, and the password. So get password. The password is not available yet. So let's connect to the jump server first. Jump server, click on connect, get a password, and read something like this. So my key name is this. So choose file and select your same key, which is my downloads, a project red, and done. Your whole encrypted file, click on decrypt. So you will get your password. Just copy this password and save in some notepad, right? This is my password. This is my public IP and the username is administrator. And using these credentials, you can easily connect to the machine. So just click on download RDP file. Once you download, open that file, connect, copy your password and paste over there when it asks. Then it will ask for the password. So this is my password. So let's copy this password and paste it over here. Password and okay. Yes. So we are logging in our machine, the user administrator. So we are inside our machine. That is my Windows jump server. Now my jump server is connected. The next task will be connecting to your Linux machines. That's a web server and your DP server. So let's see how we can connect to that. Let's minimize it. For connecting that machines, you will need the IP address and the key for the machine. So let's try with the web server. Don't use the public IP address, use the private IP address. So because from public, we block the such connection. So we'll need a private IP. Copy the private IP, open notepad. So my private IP for my web server. Right? My username is always EC2-user for Linux machines. And the password, we will basically not have a password, you have the SSH key. So SSH key will work like a password, right? And let's see same for the your DB server. The IP address will change. Let's see the IP address. Click on DB server, and that's my private IP. DB server doesn't have the public IP address. DB server just have the private IP address. So use the private IP, and private IP is over here, and same username and the key. So we are using same key for the all machine. We have the username, we have the password, right? Let me just have a key. So first, copy that key to your Jump server. Go to your downloads, search for the key. That's my key is projector.pem. This is my key. Just copy the key, open your RDP connection, right click on desktop and paste over here and paste your key. So my key is copied, the SSH key is copied from my base machine to the Jump server. This is my key, right? And for connection to the Linux machine, we will need a SSH client, right? And this is the latest Windows update. So you can just open your CMD, just click on the start button, search for the CMD, that's a command prompt. So you need a command prompt, just open the command prompt. So the command prompt is open. Now I am on this location, right? But I should be on my desktop because my key is on my desktop. So the path is cd colon c colon slash users, then administrator slash desktop. So using this path, you will be on desktop, right? If you use the command dir, you will get to see the file, the project.pem. So once you are in desktop, now we can use the command ssh -i. Key name is my project.red.pem space. The username of the Linux machine, that's the EC2 user @ IP address. So my IP address is on my machine. So let's copy that, minimize this. This is my web server IP address. Let's use this first. This is my web server IP address. Copy this IP address. Open your Jump server again and just paste it over here. That's my IP. Enter. Yes. So I am inside my Linux machine, as you can see. I am inside my web server. In the same way, we also have to connect to my database server. So again, open a CMD, a new CMD. Again, go to the desktop. Again, same path. C colon users administrator desktop and done. SSH -i. The key name is project red. EC2 user, the username of my database server, and then IP address of my database server. That is like this. Copy this from here and Just Control V for paste and enter. Yes. Done. So on my first tab, I'm connected to my web server. On my other tab, I'm connected to my database server. This is one of the mechanism to connect to your Linux machines using the sh command, right? Let's try to ping a google.com to check the internet connectivity. This is my web server. So use ping space google.com. And my internet is working fine over here. This is my web server, which is connected to which is in a public subnet and which is connected to my internet via route table. Let's do the same thing on the other machine. That's a ping space google.com. And I will not connect to the internet. I'm not connected to internet, so I will not get a reply for the ping because I don't have a public IP address. I'm not connected to route table, and I don't have an entry of my internet gateway. So I will not get any response for the ping, right? So my internet is working fine. So my public machine is connected to the internet and private machine is not. And all the machines are connected to each other. Let's try to ping each other. So from my web server, let's try to ping my database machine. Check the connectivity between database and the web server. Ping. My IP address is 192.168. What's IP address is 2.58. 2.58. So let's try to ping this machine to each other. So the ping the IP address of our other machine, and it is pinging fine. Let's try from other machine. It will look from other machine as well, right? So my all machines are connected to each other, right? Public machine is connected to the internet, and the private machine is not connected to the internet, right? So you can connect to the machines using the CMD, and you have other option as well. That's the putty, which is a very famous tool to connect. So we don't have putty over here. So just open your Internet Explorer, and on the URL side, you can type the URL putty.org, enter. Security alerts. So do not show me, and okay. Don't continue and close. So that's my putty, and just download a putty over here. Click here, download. Scrolling down a little bit, and just download the 64-bit MSI file. Add, close. Again, click on that. So it will be downloaded. Yes, save my file. So file is downloaded. It is doing some security scan on it. Once it is done, so we can install the putty on our machine. My security scan is done. So let's run this. So the regular way, next, and install. Let me close other stuff. That's my downloads and Internet Explorer. And let's minimize the CMDs. Finish. So my putty is installed. The problem with the putty is putty doesn't support the PEM file. Putty needs a PPK file. So go over here and first open a puttygen. When you install a puttygen software also installed to generate your keys. Just search for the puttygen. So this is my putty folder, and you'll get a puttygen. Yes, that's a puttygen. And let's open it. So click on the load. Select the key which is on your desktop. So desktop, it will not show any key because the type is only PPK. Just select the type to all files. So you will get a file. You will get your file on your screen. That's your projector.pem. Open. Once it's open, just click on save private key. Yes. So name can give us a new key and save on the desktop. So on desktop, I got my new key, right? Now, once key is converted, now open a putty file. So just open a putty, right? Where's the IP address of your any web server or jump server? So let's connect to the web server first. So my web server IP address, copy and paste over here. Now, from the left hand side, just go down, click on SSH, then click on auth, browse, and select your converted key, which is on desktop. So going to the desktop, and my key is a new.pk. So it's new.ppk, and open, and again open. So it will ask you for the username. So yes, the username is ec2-user, a same that we use SSH access, and enter. Done. I'm inside the machine. That's my web server, right? In the same way, you have to connect to the jump server as well. So you have to, in the same way, you have to connect to the DB server as well, right? So the new session. So the same way, going to the SSH, auth, browse, and select your converted key. There's a new, open, and I forgot the IP address, just scrolling up. Again in sessions, the IP address. So I will need IP address. So my IP address is this. Going over here and paste the IP address. Done, and open. With the username, yes, ec2-user, enter. So you're connected with your DB server as well and the web server as well with the SSH connection. So we tried both methods with the CMD and with the putty. You can prefer any one of it. If your machine is updated, if you have, if the SSH client is installed on your CMD, so you can use that. If you are familiar with the putty, so you can use the putty as well. But you have to just convert the keys from PM to PPK using the putty gen, right? So that's how we connect to the machines. Now, in the next session, I will show you how we can use these machines, right? And how we can do the high availability for the machines. Okay, so that's for this video. See you in next video.